Hello, you beautiful bees out there. Welcome to Let's Be Telepathy, a podcast about telepathy, life, spirituality, and everything in between. So we're engaging in a lot of different changes right now. And during those changing moments, we want to just sit back and ask the community, what is it that you guys want? What is it that you're benefiting from? What do you think you could benefit more from? So this is a call to our little busy bees out there, because I know some of you are out there being pollinators and pollinating the world in your awesome way. We got little builder bees that are starting building new colonies and building new spots for everyone. And then we got all these nursing bees just wanting to take care of everyone. And we want to make sure that we honor all of them together as a whole and make this platform the best that we can possibly make for you guys. So, that being said, we have different opportunities right now that we could be taking. And we also have some question about different platforms. People are wanting to see us on X, on Twitch, on YouTube, that kind of thing. So we want to hear, where do you guys want us to be seen? What is good for you? And yeah. So with that being said, I'm just going to open it up. And if anyone has any suggestions right away or any questions or stories that they want to add, let's go ahead and answer those. Sarah, you got your microphone off right away. I know you're almost new here, but if you want to talk or you want to ask any questions, she says no. So anyone out here have any questions, any concerns, anything that they want to be seen more of? Go ahead, James. Oh, we got to get you to unmute there.
All right. Um, Hi everyone. Melissa, I just wanted to start off by saying what a gift that this platform is. And I, you know, just as a baseline is as a parent, just to find this and realize that this is real, that you're out there, that our guys can have a voice through you. It's magical. So I can't imagine. I thought you'd be inundated and it would have blown up by now, but it really speaks to how slowly things move. But I'm sure everyone's coming. So I can only hope that um, new bees who come to the hive can really experience that the magic that just this platform is that you and Sharon put together. Um, so anything that you feel compelled to offer is works for me, and it would just be such an added. This is such a bonus to our lives, and so anything that you decided to reach out and go in other directions would just add so much to our lives. So thank you. That's what I wanted to say.
Thank you. Is there any suggestions or things that maybe you might change? And now I love critical or constructive criticism. So send it to me my way if you guys have some. I really actually love to hear that. But anything you would want to see changing. And now, when I asked that, one of the questions that brought this up was that I was working with another group, and we noticed that this group has these body issues, having problems with body control or headaches, nausea, that kind of thing. And they were all kind of going at the same point. Well, Miss Kelly here, Mick's mom, had pointed out some frequencies that were changing within our earth and on a energetic magnitude. So I went ahead and I got an app that tells me all of the different spikes of energy or the lower spikes of energy and stuff like that. And as we started following them, we noticed that a lot of the loved ones were reacting or having headaches during these times of these white bars. And so I was wondering, is that something that maybe we should put in, because there's so much going on with everyone that something like this, just saying this is the resonance of the earth, this is the frequency, this is what's happening right now, would that be beneficial for you guys out there to know or to add in? Or even astrology takes a huge role in all of this too. Is that something you all would like to see added in into this? Addison, I see you shaking your head. Yes. Yes. Go ahead, Katie.
So, um, I think I think yes, I think I agree that anything you want to share is worthwhile. For me, I know in your post about this podcast, you mentioned that you wanted to keep messages intentional, sacred, and beautiful, which I love. And one thing that I think I would like to see as a change, or maybe as an alternative way of doing this, is to have more structure where you have a host. And from my perspective, I would like to see somebody that doesn't have your abilities and doesn't have it isn't autistic or anything to be like a host, because, and I'll explain why in a minute. But then to have you, and then to have some of these non-speakers on and have a topic each time. So like this episode, and I'd love it to be a podcast. I like listening to podcasts while I drive to work and things like that. I think you can also have the video, but I would love to be able to just listen, while I'm driving around. But have a topic and say, today the topic is, it could be those energies. It could be people could in the group just post any questions that they have, and maybe that's the topic that week. The host could facilitate sort of interviewing you, interviewing the non-speakers, and then you could translate. Sorry about that. That's my ring. You could translate, and then the reason I would like somebody different to be the host is because oftentimes I think people in the group, in this podcast and other podcasts, will say things that somebody like me doesn't quite understand, but the other people that like have these special abilities all kind of get it, and so they gloss over it. And so what I would like is the host to be different, to not understand those things and say, okay, let's pull back, and what does this mean? Can you clarify this? Because I think once you start doing that, you can reach the masses, right? And it can be something palatable that they can really take in and understand. And also because I think it would help to get rid of some of the messages, I guess, that can get misconstrued based on wording. So an example I love in the telepathy tapes, one of the girls kept saying the word gods. And what I like is Kai said, when you say gods, are you saying there are multiple gods, or are you saying there's one God with multiple names? And she said multiple names. But if you're saying gods repeatedly, people are hearing it, that they're saying, oh, that means there's multiple gods. So it's all about like, intentional with your words. But if people are saying things like, let's just ask, let's just clarify, like, it's okay, whatever the answer is, but let's find out what that is. Same thing with like, I've heard people use extraterrestrials, and that can mean so many different things depending on who's listening, right? So those are, I've been like keeping a log of things I wanted to say. But yeah, I think if we allow just sort of like anybody to come on and say anything like I'm doing right now, essentially, there are people that are going to come on and they're going to say things that are just completely wrong, that spread a message. I've seen this kind of stuff in the groups a lot. And it's just that conflict with the messages that you're trying to get out, or that the non-speakers are trying to get out. And sort of like, that's who I want to hear from. I want to hear from you. I want to hear from them. I want to hear different perspectives. And let's say this is an opinion, like not this is fact, right? Those are my thoughts. I know that was a lot.
No, I love it. And that's exactly what I was looking for. And I will say, Sharon, Adriana, Noah are stepping back for a little bit, just because Sharon is acknowledging the fact that facilitated communication is her skill, is her style. She really wants to get into that. Noah, Adriana are going to be a lot more of that healing part, and with some of the episodes and stuff just wasn't fitting into the time schedule around some other people, and so they'll show up in here when they feel, when they got the time and everything. But that is something that was kind of discussed, also, is what would it look like, for hosting in that way too. But also, I will say, from a guide's standpoint, that was something that I was getting, was to have a host that's a skeptic, would really actually be great, because then you would be able to build the bridges there, in between everything. And I really love that. And so I liked that. Another thing was, so we were asked to go on to a radio show, so we could be making this a radio show, in which case it would be a 49-minute episode, that would be actually strategically laid out exactly how you thought. So it would have format, it would have outline, it would have that kind of thing. And I guess that's something that in this podcast in this forum, I want to bring back together too, is exactly have that little structure. And so are you guys thinking that it might be best, and I know Tammy has her hands raised too, in what you said, do you want this, we could have this, like what's going on now, just be a background, if you want to hop on, if you have something to say it, or should we be structuring this and then also at working on that podcast?
Both
Anya,
could
go
be
ahead, and
great. Yeah.
then go ahead, Katie.
Yeah,
Sorry.
both could be great. I mean, I do think that there's a lot of value in just allowing people to come on and ask questions, and allowing, parents with children with autism to come in and ask, get your feedback and ask questions. I think that's all great. I just think you could also do, yeah, a structured podcast that would be really useful. Yeah.
So you're thinking have both would be good?
I mean, time permitting for you, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I do think both could be useful. Yeah.
Yeah. I had my time schedule in my head, and this kind of sideswiped me. So I had my mission. I was doing healing. I was doing readings. I'm doing my sanctuary. I'm doing my books, all that. And then this just came and whoop. And now all my guides are saying there's enough healers. There's enough readers. This is what you're meant to do. So I guess in that restructure, that's exactly why I'm asking, because I'm being so driven right now, by doing this, that um I don't want to say an addiction, but it just feels like it's what the flow is right now. So, Anya, go ahead. And then Tammy, I'm going to give the floor to you.
Yes, I was just looking at my notes. I made a couple of notes as well. So I totally agree that it would be amazing to have something structured that goes and probably can can be a business within itself and can be, independent and self-sustainable, whatever the words are. And then keep this one as a form of people really, because I think this is where the majority of parents really reach the peak in this group, just to hear their child for the first time. That was, that's the whole point, right? And for that, for keeping this group casual, like keeping two separate things, podcast and then this group casual where you can actually reach and meet. So here are my things. So I would put it, okay. I would put it in a way that, or I would suggest that you put it in a way that this really remains your platform. And this is why, like when you channel, or at least this was my experience, you are so versed with it already that you don't allow ever your ego or your opinion to go into it. You channel pure, right? So whether you're doing it with Noah, whether you're doing it directly, you just channel really what they have to say, whether you agree with it or not. And then there are people, or us parents or other people, not only in this group but also in the Caroline's group, who are just starting to learn to channel, and this is amazing. We need this. But that, I think, should be separate from this group, because I think most value is to have that uninterrupted, no ego channeling, rather than, me included. If I would even start now, At least that was my experience. I'm pretty new here, but whenever I heard you channel, it was just so pure. It was not explaining, this is what I mean, this is, let me explain. No, it was just pure, you know. And everybody else who is just learning is still struggling with that. So there could be a different platform for that, for learning. And I understand that, especially with that Chinese saying, which is beautiful, like, don't give me the fish, but teach me how to do this, how to fish, right? And that's amazing. That's what we're here for, and that's what we talked about. Serna might be actually a key to learning, for teaching us how to learn telepathy. Like, so everybody else who is learning to do what you're doing, I think should be doing it on another platform. That's my opinion. But I do believe that it's a huge, or it could be one of the topics. Let's say once a month, we're going to use this open Zoom just to work on people who are learning, and then all the parents who want to, be a part of that and help those people learn can come with their kids, right? But yeah, I would suggest to keep those two things separate. So there is you and your way of doing it, and then there is people who are learning, which is also like I think the most amazing part. Like, don't give me a fish, but teach me how to fish. But those things I would prefer to keep separate.
So yeah, I do, and I don't want to let go of this platform because it just, the magic is here, and that's one of the things that I'm like, it's just too magical for people to get on and to experience this. But then, yeah, having a separate, maybe the educational part is the radio show, and I really do like that, because that was one of the things, is I want to keep this going. This is magic for me. This is where everything happens. But I'm also seeing the educational side of people. Well, what is going on with the earth? What's going on with spirituality? How do we learn this? How, let's dive deeper, because when I'm channeling for them, we're not going into the human side sometimes, of what we can do and how you guys can learn. So thank you for that. Tammy, go ahead. Sorry you had your hand up so long there.
Thank you. I am here to just say that this space it came to me in divine timing, and this is what I needed in this moment of my life. And it has been such a gift. And sorry. um, for the first time, I'm starting to get to know my daughter, Emma. And I am feeling more in my body. And I'm meeting amazing, amazing people in this group. And I don't want it to change at all. I was surprised with this. And I love that for your openness, and you're seeking from the needs of other people. But I just love this space because it's free. It flows where spirit wants to take us. And I have been working hard on destructuring my life. I don't want any more structure in my life. So when I hear having a structured platform, oh, my nervous system goes into shock. um, because I think the beauty of this space is guided by what it needs to be in the moment, and it's nothing that you can really plan for. So I love just jumping in and into the unexpected and the unknown, and seeing what arises and what surprises and delights come out of our time together. So thank you.
Love it. I love it. And I mean, and really, I have felt that too. I really like the intimate. I love people just hopping on, um, and I saw Cindy, you had your hand up. What did you want to say?
I didn't raise my hand because I'm in the loudest building possible. I was just completely agreeing with Tammy. Like, I just just found this space and I am obsessed. I mean, if you could see like how many videos of yours I've watched, I mean, I'm going through all of them, and I cannot get enough of the learning and everything. Like yesterday, I put on one, and it dove into like Noah and the sacred geometry, and I was like, boom, like walking into this, thinking I'm going into like a how to scramble egg class, and it's Gordon Ramsay's, like master class. But at the same time, I'm just like, yes, like I want all of this. So I can see like splitting it up in different formats, but like this space with like the other parents and the other kids, and like I've only gotten that much about Jason, but like it's so much where it's magical, and you're magical, and it's just like I and everyone on here is just it's just a blessing to be a part of it. So I would hate to see any of that dissipate, but at the same time, oh my gosh, the information that you give on just all the other things. I want to learn more about God and the universe, which is one and the same, but you know what I mean? Like all these, there's so much to learn. And as an autistic person myself, I love a deep dive. And so there are so many places to dive into, and you, educate us in such a beautiful way and such a knowledgeable way, and the way you explain things. I don't know. So whatever you do, I am here for it. I am showing up, but yeah, this space is just magic. And so, I've told so many friends about it too that I know want to be a part of it as well with their kids. I know it's a lot with just finding about our kids and what we can do and just learning about those things. It's wonderful. So although I didn't raise my hand, thank you for letting me get that out, because I love it. Love everything
Your
about
thoughts.
you guys. Yes. Yes, ma'am.
So it seems like just keep this platform as it's going, right? And then we'll just do a little side thing that will explain a lot more, and maybe it can correlate to things that we talked about in this forum. But what I'm hearing is let's keep this the way that it's been going, correct? Yeah. Go ahead, Anya.
Like I can read the comments and everybody was writing, I agree, Anya, I agree, Anya, I agree, Anya. So just make sure that it's your platform, that you are the main, because I've for a long
You're freezing up there.
part of it as well. So just because this is going to feed your structured podcast or whatever it is. You're going to have a lot of motivation here, but this should really be yours. That's, yeah. I don't know how it was before because I've been maybe like for 2 months here, but yeah, it started like very, very centered, and then it's just like, So I would love that. You don't need, I mean, it would be great to have a host or this or that, but for the structured thing, but this one is yours. This is where you shine, and this is where, and that's where, you educate.
Okay.
So yeah, we want to appreciate you, not like, everybody, but you.
And I thank you for that. I always have the hard time with you because I always feel like it's us. So I can definitely
It is us, but it always has to be a leader, because otherwise there's not going to be a tribe. There has to be one.
Okay.
And of course you're going to be fed from the group. You're going to be, but you've been in this for a very long time. You are very versed in this, and we are kind of here for guidance, and we come here with our kids because you already know how to do this, and stuff like, and we want to learn from you. But as long as it goes, like Katie was saying, if it doesn't have that kind of guidance or because everybody does it differently. Everybody, maybe somebody's not channeling differently, but rather explaining what they think, somebody say. So it's a very different way of doing things. So this should be yours, and everybody resonates with your way of doing that. And then maybe you change from the feedback from the group. Maybe whatever, change something, but it really should be your platform. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Because then it would have brought in, do you guys want another stable co-host? I guess would be my answer, but I guess you guys answered that for me. All right, beautiful. Anybody have anything else to add? Because Addison, I know you've been pretty active in your head there. I don't know if you want to say anything or add anything. I can see your energy just pew 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 pew, but not reaching out necessarily. So how can I help you?
Okay, so I'm painting a mural right now. I'm in a public space at a coffee shop, so I'm going to keep this short. But I was invited here by Nina. She's spoken with you before on this podcast. She's a good friend of Aiden and James. Um, how I got here, I don't know. I listened to the telepathy tapes. I'm just a really good friend of Nina. She's like, look at this, look at this. And it's truly amazing how it's all unfolding. It's funny. I actually had a nonverbal autistic cousin growing up. His name is Jeremy. And I just recently found out that he was actually friends in person with Noah and Sharon. And so, yeah, and so this is just a very special connection for me to have. And I don't know where it's going. I don't know what's coming from it, but I am truly, truly curious about, this world that's unfolding, like the whole telepathy and just all of everything that's tied into that. It's truly incredible. So I'm just honored to be here and to observe for right now. Thank you.
You're welcome. And I know Kim has come into our little hive as a very heavy player here. She's been making some really beautiful videos that are just really coming from your heart. And I want to hear about what you think about this whole thing and the structure and where you want to go, or should we keep it the same and structure it somewhere else? So like Tam, like Tam and Mianya and Katie were saying.
Okay, my heart's racing because whenever I get called out, my heart starts to race. But you are so intuitively spot on. And I already have 3 pages of notes because as you guys are discovering, I get a lot of information in, and then I need to sort it out. And then I will present this information in this podcast. Oh, how funny. In this playlist. It's funny, it's a playlist. So let's play, right? But it's a playlist on and the reason why I'm going to say this out is so that recognizing that some people are just going to be listening to this is Shiro Network LLC, which is where that's my sandbox because it's so much more self-contained for me than any of the other social media platforms. There's just too much noise out there. I just am too receptive. But to answer, so anyways, I've been getting all I've been getting all this information, and it's funny, as I was preparing for this call, I was really, really nervous to come on, as some like James might know why. Thank you, James, so much. I'm so happy to see you here. You have no idea. Like, I've been getting private messages from people that have been supporting me, and it just really helps me because this is a really scary thing for me, as I called out early on. And now I'm seeing how this is all going to happen, and it's just revealing itself. But I was really scared to come on because I wasn't sure if I was going to be beheaded or am I going to be burned or what's going to happen. Because unlike Melissa, I am not open to constructive criticism. I just know this about myself. I'm very, very sensitive. And so I keep myself pretty hidden because I am so sensitive. And I do take things very, very deeply. And I go back and I'm like a freaking oyster, that little sand. I can't stop thinking about it until I've turned it into an oyster. I turned it into a pearl. And then I present it on my channel. And sometimes it looks really ugly, which is the one I just did. And I was really scared about that one. So I was nervous. And as I was getting ready, I was making my drink and I open up the can of coconut milk and it splats all over me. And I'm like, oh my God, I just made a mess. And I'm like, I gotta hurry. I gotta call. I start to panic. And then right away, I hear the gang going, no, we're just preparing you. Because in this moment, you can slow this down. and you have the ability to clean it up. So don't worry. You've got all the time in the world. So I did. So they were preparing me for this conversation. And what I see, Melissa, is, which I really, oh, wow, Tammy, I'm with you. I'm going to get emotional. In the first call and response video was featuring you, Melissa, because I really see you demonstrating the magic of self-organizing intelligence of life. I really see you demonstrating the magic of pollination. I really see you demonstrating the magic of litany, which is I call the call and response. And what I see you doing in this community is you are opening up the platform and saying, what is it that you guys questions? What do you need? And what is happening is that you're putting that signal, if you build it, they will come. You're putting that signal out there. And what's going to happen is you're going to draw in the people who do have the ability to make the structure. You're going to draw in the resources. So, for example, I remember years ago, years ago, I was like, I got to get a therapist. I'm going through shit. I got to get a therapist. And I kept going through therapists. And I'm like, I'm so disappointed in therapy. It's just not meeting what I need. And then one day I was like, I should probably learn how to become a therapist. So what I realized is the therapist I was looking for was myself. So oftentimes when we say we need more structure, sometimes we're the one who's here to actually give that gift of what we have to offer. Is I'm actually really good at this, or I'm actually really good at that. And so what's happening is we're kind of taking it off of this prescriptive way of like, well, this is how everybody's doing it, so we should do it this way. And oh, listen, I hear you guys need more structure and we're doing it this way. But Melissa, what you're doing is so beautiful because you're just saying, okay, this is a place for people to say, this is what I'm struggling at, this is what I need. And what's so beautiful about what you do, which I am definitely being fed by, is then you put it out there for us. And that's the call to like, for others to have access to it. And I love that you are putting it on other platforms for someone like me that can only access it through you because it's so loud. And so what I'm doing is those videos that you put out there, and you've said this many times, and I appreciate that, which is if you're coming on here and you're being visible and you're talking, then you're saying, I'm willing to show myself to the world. And let me tell you, I called it out from the beginning. It's really hard for me and scary for me to do this. And also because if you guys want to do constructive criticism towards me, please bring it to Melissa. She's already accepted that she will be the liver to absorb that particular energy. And if anybody else wants to raise their hand to be the absorber, I have my own personal news anchor, a really good friend of mine. I don't watch any news. But what I do is she'll call me, go, Kim, there's a weather thing coming in. Make sure your car's in the lot. Like she will send me like, okay, you need to know this. So I really need a lot of protection in order for me to stay open and receptive, because I know everybody's going through their own stuff, and I need to take it in a little bit more measured. Otherwise, I will tilt. I will definitely get overwhelmed. So to that, I just say I really appreciate what you're doing here, and I do believe that when everybody does find that they're needing something from this group, absolutely say it. And it is putting it out there, and there will be a response, and just start looking for the response. And all of us who have our own unique gifts, they're going to be like, oh, I see how I can work well with this community. And even though this is my own channel, what I see we're doing is we're building a web. Where you have nodes on the web. I don't really see it as a hierarchy, as a leadership, like I don't see you as the teacher so much, although you certainly can teach. I see this as a collaboration, and that we each have a specialty. James, I'm getting goosebumps every time I look at you. James is going to be my next video. I have been sitting on this one. You guys, you just don't know who you got here. Okay, but don't worry, I'm going to out you. And I just wanted to say this, like, yeah, one of the things is just to let you guys know that it is my deepest intention when I out someone that it is coming from a place of divine love, and it is meant to be a community building, and even the one I didn't want to do. And I was ready to I got into the biggest fight with Noah and Brandon. Man, did we go at, they are worthy. Like, listen, they can handle it, right? But I'm like, they get flashing lights. I mean, no, no. But then, they let me sleep on it. And then I presented it and again, please reserve your criticism for Melissa. She can handle it. I can't handle it, you guys, really. Can't we all just get along? Like I'm like the peacemaker. Like that's me. I've always been that person. So I just want you to know that it is my deepest intention to show the greatest potential that I see in every person who comes forward, and to be able to present that in a way of respect and reverence, and also that just a lot. There's a lot of channels that'll come through. So thank you so much for listening to me and hearing me out and for calling me out, Melissa. It really helps me every time when you call me out, because I'm like, I'm going to sit here and fill up notebooks of information. But you're right. If I do come on here, I am willing to come forward if you feel if you feel that. I totally trust you're like, I'm calling on you. I'm calling on you. I'm calling on you. You are you're on it. You are so on it, and you are such a freaking gift to the world, really. You are really changing the world with this. So, anyways, thank you.
I do gotta, she just popped right off there. Oh, no, there she popped up to the beginning there. I was just gonna say I gotta go to Jody here because I was feeling the energy there, and then the screen flipped and I thought you left, and here you went up. Jody, go ahead.
Oh gosh. Okay. I didn't come here with any plans of contributing, but after hearing Katie and her suggestions, it kind of got my brain rolling, and my guides are yelling at me to start talking. I call them my spirit squad because I don't have a fancy name for them. But I get the impression that there are people who like this more organic format where it's just a little bit more free flow and creative, and that can be very valuable. But um, as this group expands and you start developing a library of videos that you're posting, that you could have some shows that are more topic oriented, so then when somebody wants to go and watch or listen to these videos, they can kind of pick and choose. Ooh, this would be awesome for sacred geometry, or I'd like to watch the ones based on how I can learn how to be telepathic, or I'd like to watch the ones where it's you connecting parents with their children. Just you're gonna need more like categories and topics, because also when I see the Zooms posted and stuff, they're great, but I don't have time to listen to everyone all the way through, and there's always bits and nuggets within them that is very interesting and applicable to me, but they're kind of hidden, as far as one talking about being attacked, or excuse me, having spirits coming to them and taking over their bodies, which was so fascinating. And then you've got another person who is providing healing, and that's really fascinating. So I guess having both organic, raw videos, but then also having some more structured, so then I can go back and focus on certain topics, or even just having Q&A videos, which are also really fascinating and tend to be very educational for everybody, and maybe have people post questions in the Facebook group. Then you can have a moderator just start rattling off questions to you, and maybe have it be like you and Noah and Sharon, or whoever that you want to choose to help field these questions. And I just think that would be a little easier for people who are just starting out to be able to kind of be more selective in what videos and what information they're ready to take in. So that was it.
No, thank you for that. I love it. I love it. I love it. All advice is good advice here. Hi, Mick. You want to say something? No, he did a lot today. We did a podcast interview this morning, and he killed it. My husband was walking through the hallway and said, "Oh my gosh, that Mick kid is so smart." I apparently was standing outside listening in the doorway, and he loved what he had to say. But yeah, let's channel for Mick here. He's got a lot to say. He says, yes, leave this structure open, as many of us are being drawn to it at many different times. And it is a great place for all of us to see, to feel, to harmonize our energy together. It's not only the telepathy that's happening. All of us are here supporting and showing our support for each other. We're showing our vulnerability. We're showing who we are, and who we are just people that want to talk, get answers. We want to speak, and we want to be heard. We want to come together as a unified team that really is structured for the structure is the people that show up. It's not the show. The structure is the energy that shows up, that says, I want to be heard, I want to be seen, I want to love, I want to support, I want to know what this is all about. And that in itself is the structure. No more structure is needed, because the structure is the flow, just like water, just like going down a stream. It has to keep moving, it has to keep going. And that is what this show does, is that it allows for everybody on all the different various topics, or all of the different feelings or emotions that they're going through, to be able to speak all at once, but all at different times. And so I would just like to say that, yes, I like it the way that it is right now, because what you guys don't see is what we're feeling on the other side. And if you notice, when my friends get on here, they calm down for the day. Some of us have energy that's sporadic and all over the place, but we know to come here because the energy is calm, forgiving, and safe for everyone. And all words are heard, and all emotions are heard, without judgment, and without ego, and without pride. And I love that about this, is that we all just come to be.
Melissa Daniela is trying to raise her hand, she wrote a couple of times in chat that she wanted to say something.
Thank you, Anya.
Go ahead. If they're talking, there's like this time, where, okay, talk now. Otherwise, sometimes the channel just changes. So I want to catch him while I could.
I was on and off running around the house, so I was not sure if you saw, or maybe because I'm off the camera. I'm not sure. So no, anyway, I will just shortly say, like, of course, I heard some of the speakers, and I just want to confirm that really we all agree how we appreciate what you're doing. And it's really meant to us a lot, especially to our parents, to hear. And that's like what I wanted to say. It's really important for us, at least for us parent perspective, to hear more what our non-speaker wants to say on any kind of topic that we're talking about, to explain our different things. This is for me the crucial part of this Zeus. Even when I go on back and listen what you recorded before, I will always listen more to kids, what they have to say, not apologize for others, not so much other perspectives, or how, I mean, we are sharing feelings, how we feel, how we perspective on other things, but they have so much to tell us. Even that you mentioned are also following the like frequency of the earth, or different, like now we have a solar eclipse or whatever. My son was also telling something about a lunar eclipse earlier. So I mean, we are following, we know something how it affects us, but we don't know from there what they have to say about. I think this is most the precious for on any kind of topics, even how they feel today, or how their body feels, or whatever. This is like really crucial, because if I will listen another, I personally don't have so much time. So this is like so much, like, this is, I don't know, so precious for us to hear. And I'm learning from other kids too, not just of course from my kids. So that's kind of form that we really need, that we don't have. I don't know, somewhere else maybe there is some groups, but I'm not sure. So this is really like, yeah, very important. So thank you so much for doing this for us, to hearing our kids first time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Not a problem. I mean, it's a gift for me too.
Yeah.
It is definitely a gift, and that's what I keep saying. I never get bored with it. I never, I'm always learning something. They're geniuses. They're absolute geniuses that I feel can change the world in ways that we never even thought. I mean, they should be the ones teaching the scientists, the teachers, the doctors. They should be forefront. I mean, all of these people that have taken the vow of silence also took the vow of observation, and that's what I'm learning about them. Is a lot of people say we want them to talk, we want them to communicate in other ways, and they just don't want to, because communication in other ways is impure. And sometimes we say things that maybe we didn't even know we were going to say, or things just come out of our mouth. And where do we say that? Somebody says, where were you yesterday at 10 p.m.? And, oh, I was at the park. And maybe I wasn't at the park, but my head just had to come up with something. And no, I was sleeping. But sometimes that can happen, is that things just come out of our mouth, or the tones are changed and whatnot. And so the telepathic channel is what they've chosen to take. And with that is that observation. So they observe in massive ways that we don't, to include spirituality. As Mick had pointed out this morning, he says, most of the time it's you and your spirits in this body. And some people, their spirit's a little bigger than the body, but for them, I mean, here's them, their body, and the spirits all around. And so they get to see everything, acknowledge everything, that they choose to. And I think that that's a beautiful place, and that's where I'm thriving. Go ahead, Katie.
I was just gonna kind of piggyback off what you guys just said, that I just want to hear, I want to hear from the non-speakers. I want to hear what they have to say. And I listened to one of your I think it was like your very first Let's Be Telepathy podcast, the one where Noah sort of introduced himself and just looked into the camera, and you just like spoke, and it was incredibly powerful for me to witness. And so that was one of the things I was kind of thinking, like, if when we have these organic forms, which are amazing and helpful for so many people, and yes, you should keep doing them, but you could also do, in the podcast or radio or whatever, you could do it where it's, today you just have on Finn, or you just have on Noah, or whatever, any one of these kids, and just let them tell the world what they want to tell them, and because I think that's what we want to hear. We want to learn from them. And if they want to teach about a topic one day, like, let them. Like, when I say, we can have structure, that could be the structure. Let's let them talk. Do you know what I mean? And then that way it's sort of without distraction, without interruption. So that's kind of like just one aspect of how you could do a podcast or whatever,
Yeah. Yep. And that's kind of what I was thinking, is maybe have 2 or 3 of them joining on that, and then just talking where it's a little bit structured outside of that. But then maybe, keeping this a little open and free, but going in and taking, one person a week, up to even 4. I don't know how we would do it, but allowing them to be the co-host, but it's at a week at a time, or and then we change and do that. So I think that would be wonderful. Or even doing a thing to say, hey, this one's going to be about introducing your children to you. I mean, that is very powerful. Is just, who am I? And coming out to allow them to say just who they are, versus coming forth and just talking about whatever subjects are on. That would be a beautiful one, to just say, who am I? And then allow them to just speak. I think that would be a great topic. Thank you for saying that. James, I'm going to you and Aiden again. You're getting picked on here. Aiden says that he also wants to hear a little bit more. He wants the parents to tell their side. That is a very vital, important part that we're not talking about. And he said, he said from, I'm just going to channel for him. But my perspective, we all are talking and we all know what we have to say. Me and my friends, we all have the conversations, but one conversation that seems to be amiss is the downside of autism, the downside of being a parent or a non-speaker as a whole. We also want to hear from you because we hear what's going on in your mind. We hear what's going on, in our house, but sometimes we're learning from you how to be the human. We're learning from you how to ground. So having perspectives such as my father talking about what he's been witnessing this week, what he's been going through, and then letting other parents share or other loved ones share would be critical to everyone, as I think that it would further the support system within this group.
Wow. Well, that would be a massive therapy session for parents. And thanks, Aiden. I was just strongly encouraging Aiden. I'm like, come on, Aiden, if you want to talk. So thanks, Aiden. And that's, yeah, that would be great.
So maybe leaving a little bit out for parents to say, hey, what have you guys been going through and whatnot? Because a lot of the times people are behaving the same way at the same times and whatnot.
There could be potential for it to get pretty heavy duty though. I think you'd have to skillfully moderate that.
Yeah.
So I'll add too, there's a lot of self-healing that parents have not allowed themselves to do yet. And I can, from my perspective, certainly for dads. And yeah, I mean, it's a huge, huge topic.
Yeah. What do you guys think about that? Adding a little bit of the parent side and yeah. Katie, go ahead and talk on that one. You're yes.
Oh no, I didn't have anything else to say except I think that's brilliant. I think we absolutely need to hear all perspectives. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I just would like to. I'm hearing Aiden. And Melissa, just you can slap me if I'm wrong on this one, so please. But I actually am hearing Aiden James trying to encourage you to say a little bit more right now, if you're willing to reveal yourself a little bit more. And I feel him kind of like, Dad, this was my invitation. Dad, will you please show? We just really, if you have that ability to be like, and of course it's going to be me calling you out because so anyways, I just wanted to make that a little bit more transparent.
Yeah, I'm happy to share anything. I'm not sure, Aiden, where he'd want me to go. I have lots to say about a lot of things, so I don't know. Well, I don't know, Kim, I'm kind of feeling motivated to just a little bit give on this topic that I think about a lot, and it's the dads. It's the piece that's missing from all this. And so I have a lot to say about that. And I don't know. There needs to be some sort of separate forum for dads to come together and have a place to um, for one to get involved. And I mean, it's a huge topic, as everybody here knows, and the divorce rate is massive once the diagnosis comes down, and men bail, and that's always bothered me, and so I'm Aiden's primary caregiver for years now, and so I'm in it, and I see how difficult it is, and a lot of dads I hear from moms don't use the letterboard, and I just can't believe that. And so and I just want to possibly be a voice of encouragement that you're missing out here. And through that process of getting involved with your child on the letterboard, the just the standard American male can start seeing that they don't have to be that way. They can be vulnerable. They can allow themselves to learn something new, and also develop a relationship with their child. Everything that we're experiencing. So I know I'm a little bit probably a little scattered on that, but there's just a lot there, and maybe that's what he wants me to speak up about, because it's something that, is very obvious, and I'm not wagging my finger, it's like, I think often about a favorite of mine is that Goodwill Hunting moment when he says to Will, he's like, "It's not your fault." "Oh, I know it's not. I know it's not." And he's just trying to get him to know, "Hey man, it's not your fault. It's okay. There's opportunity here. You can start over. You can grow." And that's pretty much exactly how I see this. And so I can leave it at that.
No, I like that. And I do think that that's a big structure. I mean, that is one of the things that I know they talk about. I love that Leland just came on because he talks about that a lot, actually, is the structure within the matriarch and the patriarch, and the importance of the roles being led there. And as you were talking, I could just hear him speaking. And so if it's okay, Leland, I'll channel for you here. Um, he says the world is stuck in a place of history, thinking that you all are at war, that something needs to be done, that men need to be men and women need to be women. But what does that mean when we look at the structure of all things? Is not being a man just somebody who supports the structure and supports a baseline? Is not being feminine just a place to nurture and to care from? And we're in a world right now where we're not going to war. We're not having to forge for our food. We're not forging through our medicines. We can buy it all. We can see it and we can purchase it. And that's something that's not taken into consideration with what is happening into this world, because we don't need the warriors like we used to. We don't need all of the care that we used to, because it comes so quickly. It comes at a price, yes. However, it is advanced. We need to start teaching the patriarch how to be more feminine, and the matriarch how to be more masculine, because that's what our world is calling for nowadays. You have made a cry and the world has heard it, that you wanted equality and equity, and that equality and that equity comes at a place of balance, but understanding that the roles that you once had within history are no longer the roles that we have in the future. So now we need to reformat how we take care of people, how we support the different roles, and that comes down to teaching people how to be empathetic, to care for one another, to be able to structuralize living situations and bodily situations in, I'll ask him what he means on that later, in a different format. And I think that with the world being the way that it is, we've turned into a place where women work, but we didn't teach them how to work, how to be business people, how to hold a specific he's doing this standard of work ethics. And we, on the flip side, we sent the fathers at home and we said take care of them, but we never showed them what taking care of them is. How do you make the food? How do you prepare? How do you nurture? How do you spiritually monitor what is going on in the house? And so that is very important, to be able to acknowledge that the roles have changed in the last 30, 50 years, and to adapt to the new reality that's given before you. And in doing so, teaching that patriarch and matriarch how the other one is how the other one serves in their best way, so that we can come into that balance with that masculine and that feminine, because that's where the world is at right now. Is we're seeking balance. We realize that we can't do it with the men in control, we can't do it with the women in control, but we can do it when we stop the control and we come to compromise. And that's all I got for him. You can get out. Lisa, are you talking? Oh, okay. So basically what he is saying is, yeah, we need to create groups that restructure our ways of masculine and feminine, patriarch versus matriarch. Go ahead, Coco.
Oh, hi. Did I raise my hand? Oh, wait. Don't hear anything. Wait, my audio just went out. Can you say something, Melissa? Oh, you're muted, Melissa.
I'm muted. I can hear you.
Oh,
Your microphone had just come off, so I didn't know if you had
oh,
something to say. Maybe the universe had something for you.
maybe. Well, I was thinking and reflecting on when I got to meet Brandon and how he talked about I lead with my masculinity in this lifetime and how I came home to my marriage, which it was on the rocks, and told my husband that I led with my masculine side and how it was a huge breakthrough for us and such a beautiful thing. Because it allowed him to embrace that he sometimes has the feminine role here where he's doing laundry and doing dishes and like sometimes he just has to do it. But like all of that Leland said is just beautiful because I own a business and I do lead with my masculinity and it's hard to do that. But I love how Melissa you're like, and that's all I got from him. And it was such a beautiful, like long, like fluid thought. Like, that's all. Like that was a ton. So thank you for continuing to do what you do. And anytime I'm able to join these calls, I just get so emotional because I'm so deeply moved. So thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Hi, Monique. How are you? Yeah, I know without these formats, I wouldn't be able to talk to a lot of little inspiring scientists like we have here. And so, and I do love. Oh, I love what I think it was Kim that you were saying. Put that information out, and the rest will come. And that is something that I heard is just keep doing this. And there's so many people out there. Cody is one of mine that I can't wait to link him up with the exact person that he needs. I mean, Katie, you're on with Melissa Sell, right? That group with us. Did I put you in the? No, maybe not. Well, we have Melissa Sell that we're working with. We're working with Beta Austin. We have a few different groups that we're working with different people that are really learning from this group. And like I said, they're here to change the world. And I love all the spontaneity that happens here when people just say, hey, I got something to say, and love it. I love it, love it, love it. Anya, your daughter's gonna throw me through a dang loop though. And I'm gonna love that too, like speaking through the senses. And maybe that's what she's gonna be the one to teach me how to teach people how to do telepathy, because I know how to do telepathy, but the way that she's doing is restructuring my brain. And so she's almost retraining me a new way to do telepathy. And that might just be that thing that I need to be able to explain to you guys, because I always ask people, how do you do it? And I'm like, isn't that the dang question? It comes so naturally to me. It's like, how do you explain to someone how you learned how to talk? People said some things and I listened, and as I said before, I didn't know that I was as different as I am, until I knew. And that's what I'm realizing now is, maybe people aren't doing this as much as I thought that they were. So somebody's got to step up and somebody's got to do that. And we got to get these people to the right places, because we got to network for them and get them to the right doctors, right scientists, right people, so that they can do what they came to do on their mission here too. But, yeah. Does anyone have anything that they want to say, that they want to add, anything even off this subject? And we got student here. Go ahead and talk.
Hi, sorry. My name's Chrissy. I don't know why I came up as student. I think it's because I'm on my son's computer for school. So, but anyways, I recognize Kim. I was there on Sunday. I did talk to you on Sunday for the Zoom. And I was mentioning to her that I feel that I've been able to a few times communicate with my non-speaking son telepathically. And she was mentioning that, and I think Kevin was mentioning also on Saturday that I just need to like not doubt myself. So do you have anything that you can share with me that my son Mason, like, is there any way you can channel him without him being here? He's actually at school right now. And share anything about him that he maybe wants to tell me that I haven't heard from him yet? Or is there any way you can confirm that I have been able to communicate with him? Things like that, or any advice on how to continue to do that?
Let me check. Mason it is.
He's 20 years old and non-speaking, in a wheelchair. And we don't have like a definitive way of communicating other than like smiling. He raises his eyebrow and sometimes he like does arm movements and those kind of things.
Nope, I got him. He talks very slowly and very humble, almost skittish to kind of talk, but also understands. I really like his attitude and his feelings.
I'm sorry, I missed that first part because
no, you're okay. I was saying he's very quiet, very timid, humble, slow. So it just I'm bringing it in, but the first thing that he wants to address is your worries. So Mom, I want you to know that I am not in as much pain or misery as you think that I am. I can hear you, I can feel you, and I know that your concern is for me being in pain. Do I like this life? What am I getting out of it? What am I doing? And what I get out of it is love. What I get out of it is connection. I know that I'm not like other people, and I understand that that's very hard for you. And I understand that sometimes you feel my pain and it's a sudden stabbing in your side. So he says that he shares your physical telepathic, that you can feel his pain sometimes. So he says it comes very fast and then goes away. So this would be like leg pain hurt. So when you're feeling that, he says he's shocking you with his pain. So I haven't seen this before, but he sends it like that. So all of a sudden you have a cramp in your leg, or you have a pain in your back, or you have something like that. Take note that that is him telling you that he needs adjustment within his body and that he is having pain within those different areas. He really likes the color silver. He is just very about this color silver. And he wants to be around more silver, have more silver things. I mean, he's like, I can't get enough of the silver. Like even getting a silver necklace would be good or something, because he says that silver helps protect him and it keeps him close to this to what we would see as like God or as his creator, and that it helps channel him through. He came to teach the world about neurotransmitters and neural stimulation. I really want to get into how our nervous system and the electrical components affect the body. I don't feel that people are talking about that enough, but there's actual electrical surges that are going through the body that are misfiring in ways that we need to figure out a better flow. So what he's showing is he's showing the electrical components within the within like the nerves and stuff. And he's telling me that we can start to override the pain, and like he's talking neuropathy, he's talking arthritis, bone, joint pain, pinched nerves. And he said, I would like to build the structured, it's almost like a scanning system that, no, it's not a scanning system. It's an energetic system that is charging the body in different places, starting from the head going down. But it would be like laser lights, pew, 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 and map that body down so that we can show or we sorry, he's in and out. I don't know if someone's talking to him right now or not. I'll just talk from here. So what he was showing me was it was like a laser light where you just put the laser, but it goes through the body and it starts to scan things within the body. But this particular laser light, the way that it goes view, 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 and resets the body, it stops misfiring of electrical components come in. And he's showing like electricity. So we have like a neurotransmitter here, and maybe it's going view, and it's not going to the space that it needs. He said with different lasers and different colors, we can almost hone them back in so that it gets their original formation back in line, is what he was saying. And that way we don't need medications, we don't need herbs, a lot of us don't. That way we can just go and we can heal through our light, but the light would be able to hit a certain spectrum that would make things such as cancer and pain just be able to die right off.
That's amazing. That's so beautiful and right in line with my thoughts. I'm a nurse and I don't like the idea of giving medications. I wear healing gemstones and he wears them as well. And that was actually something I was going to ask if he can feel them and if he is getting benefit from them, if you can sense that at all. But I think what you were saying with the neurotransmitters and things like that, he has a seizure disorder. This is the longest period of time in his life that he has gone without a seizure. And he's also been doing a lot of arm movements. So maybe like he's trying to show me these are ways that we can diagnose what's going on with me, which is so amazing. So as far as the gemstones, are you picking anything up with regard to that? I don't want to take up too much of your time, but that was my last question with that.
No, you're okay. And that was actually something that he had thought about, but then brought it back because he even said there's different stones that we could put, but right away he said the problem with that is that everybody would need different stones, and so we couldn't make a generic this is what we need. It would have to be individualized. And he said it changes on the day for him because his body and his energy is always changing. So today might be a black obsidian, but tomorrow might be an amethyst. He said you've been pretty good, just go ahead with your intuition and guiding through that. Silver. He brought that up though, and he said he wants silver. So
is there a gemstone maybe that's silver that maybe that's related to that? Do you think?
He was showing actual
or is that something
silver,
different?
like
actual silver. Okay.
Silver. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So try to get some silver in there.
And is there anything
pyrite
like
would be good for him too? He says
that's pyrite. Yes.
Pyrite and silver.
Okay.
But he knows that it's not silver. Pyrite's not silver.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, I do know what that is. And did he say anything in regards to the communication that I've had with him through dreams and things like that? Is he acknowledging that was actually happening on his end?
Oh, for sure. He's talked to you quite a few times. It seems like your bond, though, from what he's saying, is a very physical one. So physical one would mean that you feel it, that you're feeling what he feels. You could visionary changes to even have some visuals that he's having ringing in the ears, because you're actually, your ears are tuning into him there. But he says, yes, you have definitely heard him quite a few times. And even telepathically in the waking, it's not only in the dream state, like you've actually had mind sharing with him before. He's showing me that that he had fallen or had fell, or he's on the ground for something reason, and you knew before anyone let you knew, or you felt like, oh, he's down or something, but he's showing me that you almost know when something's wrong. And he says, oh, she knew
I
when I was
do
down.
usually know if there's something off with him before he even tells me. I can just tell.
Yeah.
It's, yeah. So
Yeah.
that's like me tapping into my intuition, I assume.
Yep. And
That's
him.
amazing.
And him. Yep. Yep.
Wow. That's amazing. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're
I
welcome.
really appreciate this.
Yeah. Miss Sarah, you got your.
Hiya. Sorry, I'm a bit shy. I just wanted to say thank you for this group. I found you through telepathy tapes, and also I've been binge watching the videos as well. I recognise a few faces from this group today, particularly Monique. I agree with everything that's been said in this group, you know, all the different suggestions. And I have two twin sons who are non-speaking. They're also in wheelchairs, and I used to be a nurse as well, which is a bit of a synchronicity with the last lady that spoke. Sorry, I didn't get her name because it said student on the name. I just wonder if you could help me if you could ask my sons if they wanted to come through, because I've been hearing them mediumistically, you know, like clairaudience, because I had some training a few years ago. And I'm trying to get the courage to listen to them more, because the whole thing has just been so overwhelming. It's just if there's anything that they wanted to say, and if I am hearing exactly the same as the last lady that's just spoken, if I am hearing what I am hearing. Do you understand what I mean?
What are your children's names?
Louis and Freddie, they're both
Okay.
19. Yeah.
Okay. Just I want to say their names out there and see. Oh, okay. So Freddie wants to kind of give maybe a personal. Is that okay? I mean,
I don't know.
It's not. He wants to address something else. We'll just go with it. If it gets uncomfortable, then you can stop the communication. He says, Mom, my worry isn't about me at all. In fact, my worry is about you. And now that I have the chance to talk, I want to let you know who you are. You are an angel that walks on this earth. And I believe that you are nothing else. And I want the world to know that you are an angel. I want them to know the hell that you went through and the despair that you went through, as well as, he says, bullying. So bullying, not in the way of somebody maybe hit you, but you got bullied for your words or for your thoughts or for your actions a lot, or felt bullied, so you shut down and you became quiet. And he said that my heart really hurts for you because the world didn't see what an angel you are yet. So I want to let you know that that's me, that's been energetically static. He says he plays with your hair, or he plays with your hands, and it gets really staticky. He says you connect on the static. I try to put you through chaos because you've always thrived on chaos, and you love putting structure to the chaos. So you're somebody who walks into a room and you can see everything falling apart, and you say, I know how to organize this. And so I just want you to check inside yourself and know that all angels have the ability to telepathically connect. But I also want to let you know that the things that are happening around you and in your life right now, let them flow. You don't need to let them go. You are afraid of losing what you once had. And I know that's scary for us. And I know that that's scary for you. But the move forward is what is necessary right now. You're going to feel a lot of emotions, and a lot of emotions have been coming to you as you free yourself into who you truly are and acknowledge who we are. This means that you're going to be losing lots of friends or lots of family or the people around you. That's okay. Know that our bond will get a lot stronger. Know that we are here and we are listening and we are pushing forward, and we're trying to take care of you in the same way that you take care of us. He says this with the deepest regard. And you don't need to tell us what this means, but he says with the deepest regard. I am so proud of who you became and who you are because of what you came from. And there are a lot of people that wouldn't have the heart and wouldn't have the compassion and the empathy that we see you have every day. Thank you for being who you are and for holding your stance, not only for us, but for everybody who has been wronged in this world that you see. Even if you don't speak up, you energetically do. And I just wanted to acknowledge that so that you know how precious you are. And you don't need to respond to that if you don't want to. Take that for whatever, because I know it's personal for you. But he just really wanted to let you know that you're a lot more love than you think you are. And you're really good. And they're supporting you as much as they can.
Thank you. Weren't expecting that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Does Louis want to say anything? It's just Freddie always seems to like pop in, or is it just how they work between themselves? Or
Honestly, the only thing that I'm getting from him is I wish I had ice cream. I wish I could have ice cream. That's all I hear. It's not even anything else. It's just I wish I could have ice cream, and that was it. I'm not hearing anything else. I wish I could say yes, but no. I just wish I had ice cream. That was it.
You've just blown me away, but obviously I want to treat them the same. Do you know what I mean? That's all. Wow, blimey! Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's blowing my socks off. Wow, thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you for everything. I'm just so glad to be a part of this group and excited to see where it's going to go. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Daniela, let's go back to you.
This is really touching, beautiful. So I just wanted to ask, as I don't have so much opportunity right now, I'm here alone with my son. So last Zoom when you talk with him, that's mostly that I'm worried about. He wanted to start to talk with his physical body issues, and then later on he talked about different things. Of course, we are interested in everything, but I just wanna maybe if he wanna tell us more. He was talking about how he cannot breathe, and that was like something maybe that I was like wanted to know if he wants to say more about it. Uh, how did we find a reason why he cannot breathe? What is going on? Is something in our house that make him sick? Maybe regarding to mold, maybe, or something else, or is it tonsils or whatever? Maybe he wants to say right now. I don't know. You can hear him. I will go in his room. I mean, there is a lot of question. He was also talking about balance in the world, about energy, about yin yang, about a lot of things. But I don't know if maybe he wants to tell us today anything that we can either help him or he has maybe some other message for us. I'm sorry, I don't hear
Oh, sorry. He was spelling something. I had to check it up, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna botch the word so hard if when I say it. He says this comes with the mercury that's in his body that he needs to go through a change of, and I'm gonna spell it out for you. Is CHELATION. Chelation.
Chelation. I know what it is.
You know
Chelation.
what that is. What is
Yes.
that?
It's a type of detoxing the body. One of the kind of protocol, if I may say. Chelation is specific type of cleaning the body from the mercury.
That's what he needs.
Okay, that's amazing. I mean, that we were about to start, but we were not sure because with chelation is not good if you have a seizures. So he doesn't have visible seizures, so we are not sure. It was never possible to do EEG and so on. But if it's hidden, so he thinks it will be good for him, then I think it's safe to do. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you already knew what it was,
yes.
I haven't heard of that.
I'm gonna look
Chelation.
into it. Chelation is like type of detox. Yeah, we're doing something like already at home, but there is kind of, if I may say, stronger. There is a different type of chelation. So yeah, that's very interesting. So mercury is kind of problem in his body. It's really good to know. It's hard to get all the tests. We did a test a lot, but it's always, it's hard to say like if it's accurate or not. That's why I say like kids know the best.
Yeah.
Well,
and the fact you guys were you already know what it is and looked into it. I hadn't heard of that.
Yes.
I know we've had people with metal or issues, toxins. Nobody's brought that up ever.
Oh yeah. A lot of kids has this issues. So I don't know. So that's why maybe they need to talk more about it, or just also I would love to try to help him like a physical body, whatever we can. Maybe they need some like to achieve something on his in this reality with his body, and I don't know. I'm just trying to find the ways. I'm also some kind of getting message from him, but I'm still like learning. I'm not clear because he was like, I think he told me to buy like bottle of water with the vortex, like to living water. So he's so happy to drink it. I had the urge. I need urge to buy it. Like sometimes I get this kind of message that something will help him a lot. So I don't know if it's coming from him. I always like doubting myself, but now I think more and more I'm aware of that he's trying to communicate also even through dreams or sometimes I'm just getting message. He last time he was talking about the magnets, and before that, even before I heard that, I also had this message. And in one store there was like million things. I would just go directly to the magnets. And he never played with that. But I said, he needs this one. I have to buy him a magnets, like a squares. And then he was playing with it. Not like so much, but something I know that is like connected. So that's very interesting. So I don't know if there is anything more that he maybe wants to say right now. I don't want to also take so much time, but this was mostly because he was last time. I will just remind. He was like saying, like kind of, I cannot breathe. Something is in my lungs. Sometimes I'm like choking and I cannot even get to my breath. And that's true because he's like open mouth breather. So there is kind of a lot of things to spect on, but it's also really hard to find really causing and so how to help him with this open mouth breathing, and there's a lot of things. So he was also complaining on. So I don't know if this connected to the mercury or
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Okay.
That's what I had asked is what's going on with the breath, and do you have anything else
Okay.
help or show? And he said it comes down to the blood. And that's how he said
Okay.
the
Daniela, be sure to check the comments. Do you see the chat?
Yeah, while I'm talking, I'm not checking because multiple, but I will do now. Yeah, thank you so much. Whoever worked, I'm checking now. Okay, Melissa, if you do, yeah, I don't want to take so much time.
Oh,
We'll
you're
talk
okay.
next time. Yeah.
Addie, do you want to talk about what you just wrote in the comments there? It seems like maybe you know something about this. I have no idea about this at all. So
Yeah. Hold on real quick. Let me get, my cat is like trying to get my attention at the same time. Let me grab him. Okay. Here we go. So I don't have anyone that's non-speaking in my family, and no one kind of on the spectrum on that sense, but I've been pulled by this. I'd written you kind of, we're talking about the retreat in Texas. I do alternative health treatments and therapies, and like the stuff with chlorine dioxide, like MMS, hydrogen peroxide, ozone therapy, all the different things. And so I've never worked with families that have children like this or adults, but I'm open to it. And so that's the thing. I'm open to talking with people. And even the fact that like he was saying he needed it, like warmed my heart, because so many people say not to do this or not. And inside, like at times I'm like, but for each person, that's not always the case, where I'm like, it might not be appropriate for you. And then there's several different chelation therapies that if you don't do the certain like order of operations, it can be dangerous. And so it's like, even how she's saying, I would love to ask him directly. I'm like, that's even like, I do muscle testing and by proxy and ask the person and kind of with their body. And like, I do that with our family, but I haven't branched out kind of in this field with other people. But if anyone wants to talk about it and like how it looks, happy to share with that. Cause I do think it's effective, and even getting their input kind of on which therapy, because again, there's so many different ones you could do.
so what does it do essentially?
It gets a lot of the excess heavy metals out, because when you were talking earlier about neurotransmitters and things misfiring, the idea is a lot of this stuff is in the body is causing interference, and there's like too much of it. And so when somebody mentioned binders, and that's just it, like there's binders that you take and there's different ones, and it's things that like gently pull this stuff out, but then people feel better, because a lot of times even like bacteria, different just gross things in the body harbor within this stuff. And so even just doing some simple things, you can naturally pull this out. And then like, again, just feel better in your body. And so I love hearing, especially the ones that are in wheelchairs, like they want to do this, because again, from my, like the medical side, and they try to steer like me away from these things of like, oh, kind of, they don't fit in the field to do this, if that makes sense, because again, they can't communicate. They couldn't say if they needed it.
If I can jump in, to me, like the analogy coming to my head is like we all have mucus, right? We need it for our nose to be like healthy, but like when there's an overgrowth of mucus or bacteria gets in there and gets clogged, like we need help like with a sinus rinse to get it out. So I mean, it's kind of that's what we're talking about with like metal, too much metal in the body, and then things combine to it. But this, binding mechanism kind of grabs it and it helps pull it out.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And everyone just has varying amounts of it. And the idea is that a lot of people have some people have heavier amounts of loads in that. And so some people want to get tested and formal things like that, but I'm more ask the person directly, ask them, and kind of, you can sure get testing and numbers in that, but if they're wanting to,
Yeah, it sounds like they already had it, and he had
Yeah.
already maybe told her, and then she said,
Yeah.
"Oh, if she knew what it was, and they already have this stuff already, then maybe that was just information that was already downloaded." Because they're talking and saying exactly this is what I need. So I love that. I love that. Anybody else want to talk or say anything? No.
I have like a little side note. It's not about this.
Oh, go ahead.
So if somebody has something about this, they should go first. But no, okay. When we had a Zoom call, it was one of your Zoom calls a couple weeks ago, and you had Finn on, I think. And I asked about my daughter who has some medical issues, and he just immediately said it was in the intestines and showed you some things. And I just got the test results this morning for her, which showed exactly that she had, you know, some yeast and stuff in the intestines. So that was really cool. I wouldn't have looked for that if we hadn't done this call and he hadn't mentioned that. So I just want to, Melissa, thank you. And if that was Finn and if he's out, you know, thank him for helping with that.
Yeah, it was definitely Finn. That was an interesting show. And we kind of said it, and his mom's okay with me saying it. I know now, but she had reached out and thought, well, my son says that he's a psychic medium. He's spelling that he is. You know, is he? And she had shown his picture on another board, had nothing to do. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what's happening here. There we go. Sorry about that. But anyways, she had said, you know, on another board, it was autism telepathy community board, and had said, my son said this, and I saw his picture. I had been talking to him for 4 months beforehand. So had everybody in my group, including Mick and Amelia, everyone, Noah, Adriana, all of them. And she was very skeptic. She actually wasn't a believer in the telepathy. And she says, I'm really sorry, but I'm going to ask a lot of questions and I'm really skeptic. And we said, we love skepticism. And Finn came home and wrote out, let him record. I want to be recorded and let me say. So that was total. She didn't know what her son's abilities were at that moment until we did that. And he's been coming through, and now she says she's a believer, and people from that have been responded very well. So I'm going to send that to her too now. And she's just like, oh my gosh, this is my son. He's so smart. And yeah, he's a psychic medium, just like he said he was. So yeah. It's fun. Thank you for that validation. And I'll let Finn and Karen know. And Finn already hears. He's like, thanks. Let's do it again. How many other people want to do a reading like that again? And yeah, I'll let his mom know. Yeah. Anyone else?
Can you let me know if Cody or Aaron have anything to say? Because Cody's been headbutting me.
Cody is really, he wants to kind of pick up even from where he was. Thank you, world, for hearing me and starting to respond. What I said and what I meant was true. I want to change the world, and I want to take out the extra electricity that is not being utilized. But I also want to just talk about my mom right now. And I want to talk about how my family dynamics have changed. And I really like the acceptance, the softness. I like that you seem to, Mom, your heart opened up a little bit. And I feel that the heart's been opening up a little bit. You softened, and I absolutely love that. You're understanding us on so many different levels that you didn't understand before. And I'm acknowledging and letting you know that I feel that, I see that, and that I'm very thankful for that. He says, my head's been hurting for the last few days. I don't like that so much. So that might be why he's been kind of maybe doing this. It almost seems like he's trying to repressure his head. Not so much. I'm not seeing the banging right now, but I'm just seeing, I have a pressurized headache, and that's really been bothering me. But again, I want to put my call out to the world to say, any scientists that want to help me, I'm really about this. I've been working with a lot more people. Sorry about that, Mom, because I've been bringing in more spirits and more ghosts. So you're feeling maybe that electricity or that energy around the house as they're starting to mess with the home. So this must be you're feeling the ghost in the house. He says he's bringing them in now. So you might have some paranormal activity that's going around that maybe hasn't been there before. And he says they're all coming to me and talking to me and telling me how I can help them. And so I've been transferring them through the light, and that's why the electricity and the lights have been flickering on more than they have before, because once I opened myself up to them and said, hey, I want to rid the world of the energy that's no longer needed, they came to me, and now they stand in line saying, okay, well, I need to go, and I'm not serving for your world anymore. How can I do this? Sorry about the mixture of emotions that's come through. As I've been going through a lot of emotions as I'm bringing them in and bringing them through. I know my brother wants to talk too, so I'm not going to wait. He's not waste. I don't want to spend all the time on me, but I do want to say sorry about the ghosts. Anybody that wants to work with me, please. I've had a headache for the last 4 days, and I love that you opened up your heart and that you're feeling more. He says that you're listening a whole lot more. Let's move over to his brother now. He's kind of laughing and smiling and saying the energy is so frantic and silly right now. Definitely it has calmed down, but stirred up in the same manner at the same time. And so in times of rest, we might be feeling a little bit like we have to move, but when we're moved, I feeling like we have to rest. And so it's an interesting state of energy that's going on right now. I'm trying my best to work through the frequencies and to calm the waves. He's showing kind of like the ocean, as right now so many different states of emotions and heightened senses are coming through. As you heighten your senses, my senses are also becoming heightened again too. And so my filters are coming off in ways that you're putting the filter on for me. And so thank you for taking on that extra energy that I have been feeling, because you have become a very a great baseboard for me. So he's saying your senses are heightening up, and while your senses are heightening, his is allowed to heighten in a protective space. So I'm feeling more, but I don't have to be scared of it anymore because mom's protecting me. You must be doing some energy work on him too. They're showing that you're doing energy work to help with them and connect that way too. So
Wow, that makes so much sense. So I was jump scared awake this morning. I was still trying to figure out what it was. And so I'm guessing. Yeah. And yeah, Aaron, lately he's been heightened, his emotions and that, and a bit more dysregulation. And I was trying to figure out why, kind of thing. And so, yeah, everything you said, like, it makes sense because we're going through a lot. Obviously, we've moved like 17 times since November. So there's a lot going on that they have to deal with, but I know that it's part of the journey, and I'm being asked to document it, which I am, and everything. But there's also all the other things going on in the background. So yeah, it makes perfect sense. It helps just to know where they are with it all. So yeah, thank you for that. I can't wait to work with somebody. I did thank you for the tag. I did have a look at that group, the electroculture group. There's like 220,000 members though, and like 4 admin. So I know it's crazy because it's a public group and anyone can join. So as soon as I got in there, there's people saying there's BS, and I'm waiting for it to be deleted, and it's not being deleted. So I don't know how they're managing in there, but I will take the time to find the right people in there and have a look around. And in the last meeting we had, when somebody was saying, are you sure Cody is in copper when he was saying brass? I was thinking, no, it's copper. No, brass. He said brass, and so I looked up the components. And brass actually does have copper in it, but it's copper and zinc. So then I looked up the properties of zinc for the planet, and zinc is very helpful for the planet. So it's like maybe that's the missing ingredient in this thing. They know what they're doing. So but it was interesting to look into that. So yeah, thanks.
yeah, that is interesting. Yeah, he said copper's pulling and brass will bring it back. So I know that when we get the right person, or maybe that's just me and you sitting and I channel the video and then you feel, because I know he already knows what he wants to do. He has the design, he has the formulas, he has it all. This he just needs somebody to help. And maybe that is just me sitting with him and buying some equipment and doing the best I can for a while, sending that off to you. And then as bigger people come through, you know, more bigger scientists or something, they can figure that out. But I mean, it won't be a bother to make. I mean, he says you should be in yards everywhere. And he really wants to support your family. He really wants to support you and be the money maker and show you, you know, going back to that whole thing, like, I am man, I will take care of you, I will protect you. And he really wants to do it, you know, for your family. So
That would be so cool. That would be blessed.
yeah.
Thank
Well,
you.
you're welcome.
I'm excited right now. Had a mute so that everyone can hear this song. Yes.
Oh, I love it. I love him singing to the world. That is beautiful. So thank you, Cody. Oh, he just showed me an image. I gotta reach. He said there's a TikToker that looks like me. You gotta find. Does energy. I'm gonna put that open. Send him my way, Cody, so I know who that is.
A ticker that looks like him.
Yeah.
That I've got to find.
Okay, he said there's somebody that looks like me that's doing the energy work physically, and he would know what to do.
Okay.
So just know that. I don't know, he's showing me TikTok. I don't know if he's on TikTok, but that's where I'm seeing it.
I've literally just opened a TikTok account because I was advised to by Honey C. Golden to do it, to kind of help get the word out. So I've only had it a very short time. So I'm gonna have a look.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's first time ever at my age.
We'll have him call it to you, you know. Yeah. Awesome.
Nice one. Blessings.
Huh? All good things. All good things. Moving forward. Does anybody else have anything before we close out? I'm going to close out here in a few minutes. I got to get to an appointment myself, but other than that, so I think we came to a conclusion. We'll keep this format, and I'll move on to a different format to talk about the subjects that they talk about even deeper, with a little bit more education, a little bit more science, and a little bit more information, and we will separate those. So we'll keep this this way, and we'll come up with a way to get that podcast going for you guys. So you have a little bit of structure on that other side.
So Melissa, about the format thing, this came to me while we were talking. I know on YouTube videos, when you post a video, you can have tags of subjects. So if you keep this format on YouTube, then all somebody has to do is put in the name of your channel and put in any topic. And if that topic has been tagged in that video, then they will find the video. Now, it doesn't necessarily point out where in the video that is, but at least it can bring them to that video. And my feeling that I'm picking up, at least from the gang, is that they're wanting us to become more and more attuned to the integrated way of receiving information rather than the more kind of linear, compartmentalized. And yes, we need to have like a path to get there. But what sometimes when we're looking so myopically on something, we might miss another piece of another thread that's coming in. So it's kind of like Katie, which is like, I would never looked there. So kind of trusting the idea that maybe if we just get into that video and just have the willingness to let the video come all the way through, you might actually pick something else up in that process because you would not have picked up because you were so specifically focused on something. But at least if you tag the video, they would at least know to go look at that video.
Thank you, Kim. Thank you for that. Yeah. Yeah, hashtags and emojis are starting something I'm trying to get used to and trying to add in a little bit more because it makes it a little bit more fun and personal. And it gives a direction for that. So yeah. All right. Well then, with that being said, I think I'm going to close today's meeting out. I am making a more structured meeting. So we'll be doing some Wednesday mornings, some Thursday afternoons, and trying to structure it so different people can get in on different times. So it's working with a lot of different people. We have people from Malaysia, New Zealand, London, Germany, UK, all different people, Australia coming in at different times. So I'm going to try to accommodate and then keep a schedule with that too. So you guys know, like every Thursday night at 6 p.m. we're going. And it'll give you opportunity to join in more and to know too. So yeah. Coco, do you have something or are you just saying bye? Just saying peace. All right.
I was actually recognizing something Monique sent to me in a private message. I
Oh,
did some work. I hope she doesn't mind me saying that, but I did some work on Cody remotely to help with the pressure headache. So
thank you.
yeah.
See, and that's what the group's about. Instant support. Okay. Well, again, thank you everyone for today. And we will see you again. I will post, I'm going to be in San Jose for the next week. It is with a mother who's needing some help. For those of you out there, I've posted it. If you guys need any help, although I don't take money, if you pay for my way out there and you got a place for me to sleep, I'm not very picky, just clean mattress is okay, and food, and I will come out there and do my best work on you guys. And I have a client that'll be a friend. I don't even like saying client because I'm not getting paid. I'm just having housing. But a friend that I am going to be working with over the next week, and I will be back then again next week. So we'll do this next Wednesday, and I'll do it next Thursday also. And then I'm gone for another little bit there. But other than that, I'm here for you guys in any capacity that I can be. And I'm going to try to work my schedule and make sure that when I'm present, I am here, present for all of you and all of your loved ones too. Thank you for your support. Really, thank you guys for your words. And this is where Melissa gets emotional. It has been hard for me, and I acknowledge I have Noah, Adriana, they have been a comfort blanket to me, and I just love them for that. And I know Noah is showing it, this is going to be bigger, this is going to be more than anything that we've ever dreamed of. But I do know that that's a place that they've been saying kind of go and do your own thing. And for the longest time it was, well, what if they don't believe, what if they don't see, what if the rest, the world was right and I'm just crazy loony in my head. And I guess I'm to a point where, well, who cares if I'm crazy and loony in my head? You guys have provided me with what I need to continue, words that I need to go, move from. And I always say, I don't believe in myself, but I believe in your loved ones. And when your loved ones believe in me and they say their words, I mean, they're not wrong. And so I'm going to continue to do what I can do, continue to give them a voice as much as I can, because I've been without a voice. It's hurtful. And the things that they have to say are just so valid, so important, and so life changing. This is what I'm doing now. And I'm going to fit my microbial and my sanctuary and the other podcasts, I guess, and to other parts of my life. But as much as I hear your words, know that I feel the same about all of you. And it is a complete honor to be the person that they allow to speak with them. So thank you, everyone. And I love all of you. And everyone who was here today, thanks for all the energy that you shared and everything that you're doing. Keep being busy little bees like you guys are. And thank you so very much. Have a blessed day.